what was it? I started at 4:30, got to 6. Be like, here you go, parents. Take your kids back. Just kidding. I love them.
I feel like I should sit like this now that we're in video.
Is this thing on?
Hey.
All right. Just so you know, in that video, it's like just your profile.
Ooh, look good.
Don't move your head from that position.
Just like that.
Yeah.
You can move your neck awkwardly. I plan on.
I'm just gonna talk to you guys like this all day.
That won't look weird at all.
So, are you you're releasing the video with the podcast with the sound as well?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So
extra pressure.
Maybe.
Should have done something to my hair.
We're putting the video on YouTube and then
Okay.
posting this on our
That makes sense.
Podbean. That's
To have multiple platforms.
yeah.
It's
Well,
a
so
whole
far.
social media store.
Yeah.
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 Dun, dun, dun.
All right. So what are we doing here, Kate?
Well, welcome to Ticker Talk. We have a special guest in the studio. We are here with Libby.
Yay.
Libby is the signature on my favorite platform out in the main gym.
That was a close one.
It was,
I thought maybe you were
wasn't
going to call it your spot. It was close.
We had an agreement. It was 7 a.m. It's Libby's spot. 3:30 it was mine.
That's fair.
That's acceptable.
Yeah,
That's fair.
back when I used to train at 3:30. Anyway, hi Libby.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hi,
Thank
Libby.
you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us.
Of course.
So let's talk about that name on the platform.
Yeah.
Why is your name on a platform?
Well, first of all, I want everybody to ignore the terrible handwriting. I promise I actually know how to sign things.
I think it's awesome.
It
Doesn't even look like
a
Libby. It looks like-
professional signature.
It was an emotional time.
Yeah. That was an emotional day.
Yeah. So I signed it right before I left for Columbia, but that's where it always worked out. Like, nobody else was allowed to work out in my spot.
Not even me.
To the point where I would have no shame telling people to move. So.
Yeah, you and Molly have a lot in common. Hers is
Little
just on the
bossy?
other spot.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's
It's in charge.
it's your.
I know what I want.
It's your
You
spot.
know
not
what you
afraid
want,
to
you're
get
gonna
it.
ask for it.
Yeah.
It is the best spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're close to the bars, the clips.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I don't like being in that spot because people are always walking around me. So. I
And
thought,
everybody can see you from the hallway.
That's true. Yeah.
I just
yeah.
like all the attention.
Yeah. the dancer in you, right?
It's
Look at me.
performance.
All right. So I wanted to have Libby on for, I don't know, a few reasons. One, to just hear a little bit about Columbia.
Yeah.
You know, you trained with us pretty much since we've opened. Pretty much. Never really missed a weekday, which is why you got the signature,
Yeah.
right? You're like the ideal member. Just, you know, whatever we program, whatever we ask, right? I never liked working out in class with you, though, because, like, I'd always try to skip the FBR.
And I will make you do it.
And you were not having it.
If it's written on the board, you have to do it.
Rules. So just your tenacity and your hard work ethic, and you're just being awesome to coach, you know, and open-minded and positive attitude was just, it's infectious, and it was appreciated, and it brought a lot of fun, tenacity to the whole group, the whole gym.
Thanks.
So, but when, you know, you've kind of been with us through all sorts of changes, you know, from our other location to where we are now.
Mm-hmm.
You've been through, like, my evolution as a coach, changing from just what I focus on for the members, and even just what, you know, as we transition from kind of this somewhat competitive gym to more of like this space of creating health and vitality, longevity and stuff, right? And so you've seen kind of some of that changes. And, you know, the biggest thing that, you know, you came every day, worked out really, really hard.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you left and went to Columbia and worked and trained maybe even a little harder, right?
Yeah, I lived at the gym there. So.
Right? And you came back and, like, completely transformed, right? So we have Claire here as well with us today. You know, Claire does all of our health and nutrition, and now you didn't do that with Claire, but I don't think there's a huge, your story of changing and making that progress is relative to us and our, so I just kind of want to hear a little bit about, first of all, you loved the gym before you left, right?
Yeah.
And what was like your favorite part about it? So just, I'm going to
Talk about the before.
Yeah.
And then we'll cut to some music.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about Columbia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before. I love lots of parts about CrossFit and about coming to Tree Town. First, of course, like people, the family, the community aspect of it. I don't really like doing stuff on my own. I'll suffer in silence if I need to, but I like doing that with people. And then just like the family and friendships that I formed here, like second to none.
Cool.
And also just the idea of like constantly pushing like my own boundaries and the own idea of like what I thought I was capable of. It's like kind of an everyday thing. It's like, oh, like I have almost these limitations that I place on myself, and then you come in and you work out, whatever kind of workout may it be, whether it's something to do with weight, like weight training or gymnastics, et cetera, et cetera. There's always like a challenge to like tackle for the day, always a way to prove like you get better, a little bit better every day.
Build your confidence.
Yeah. And so like I love the challenge aspect of it. It's what kept me coming back constantly. It was just always being able to push myself to the next level and make myself better. The whole idea of like get better every day was something that was really motivating.
Cool.
And yeah.
And outside of the gym, you have a sport. You're a dancer.
Yeah.
How do you use your fitness outside of?
How has CrossFit helped
helped or not?
Or hurt it, I guess.
I think CrossFit has helped dance, and dance has helped CrossFit. Sure. Absolutely. Getting stronger makes a lot of things in dance easier. It's shocking. Having stronger legs means you can like jump and leap off the ground higher, which means you can get more extension in the air, which means you look better when you're leaping.
Cool.
For example, even like having like a stronger core and helps with balance and turns. I had like zero upper body strength coming from dance, and so that was like a huge transformation. Starting CrossFit was getting strength not just in my legs but in my arms as well. And dance has helped like CrossFit because I came in already pretty flexible and mobile, so I didn't have issues
getting body aware and
like I knew where like my arms and my legs were at all times. Cool. Getting to the bottom of a squat wasn't a challenge.
Right.
Sometimes I think over flexibility kind of hindered me in a way, or I don't want to say over flexibility, but like always like maybe overextending things because I'm used to like that kind of stretching.
Yeah, some of the hardest people to get to find position 2 on, say, a clean is somebody that has very flexible hamstrings. They just can't feel the tension. So I can understand.
Case in point, me.
So
but yeah, so it was cool. They both like supplemented each other, and CrossFit made dance like so much easier.
Fun.
Dance made CrossFit so much easier. So
okay, so tell us a little bit about why did you go to Columbia?
Yeah.
So you graduated from Michigan.
I did.
And then what happened?
And then I worked for a year for the university in linguistics research. It was really fun. But I had known upon graduation that I wanted to like kind of what I wanted to do with my life, more or less, and that involved like Spanish and language teaching and education policy. And so Fulbright had been on my radar for a while, but I knew I didn't want to like apply and go right away right after graduation. So I gave myself a year of like living and working in Ann Arbor to really be able to focus on that application. And so during that year, I applied to Fulbright, specifically Fulbright Columbia, because it was the country that interested me the most based on like the bilingual initiative that they have there. They want everybody to be able to speak in Spanish and English or a certain level by 2020.
Didn't you take a vacation or something there prior?
Yeah, I had visited.
So you've been familiar with it.
Yep, I spent like a week or 2 weeks there. I was just traveling, and when I went, I was like, ooh, I definitely want to go back. So after that application process, which was a dream, I got accepted.
By dream, do you mean a lot of hard work?
Yeah. That was incredibly sarcastic.
That is the dream.
It was a pain in the butt. But yeah, so I got accepted, and then, which was really exciting, but also like, I have to uproot my life for 10 months.
Yeah.
And I left at the end of July last year and spent the whole 10 months there and got back at the end of May.
And pretty much became, from your Instagram, a full-time CrossFitter.
Basically, yeah. I would work out in the morning.
I didn't realize you could get a Fulbright scholarship to go train and work out somewhere.
Yeah, my stipend was to pay me to work out all the time.
Cool.
I kind of taught a little bit in there as well.
All right. So when you weren't at the gym working out, what were you doing?
Yeah, so I was working in a university. So I was teaching university students English. I was like, depending on the class I had, I was an assistant or the actual teacher. And I led like English clubs and had tutoring hours and writing workshops. So I taught English to university students. And they were my specific university. These students were studying language or studying to become language teachers.
Similar to you. So you were...
Yeah,
it was to what you were doing.
Exactly. I felt like I was teaching people like myself.
Yeah, cool.
But that was great because they were really like motivated, which was fun for me.
I was just going to ask you, like, what was one of the best parts about being a teacher and sharing that?
Seeing like confidence grow in students, like having a marker from the beginning to the end of semester. I liked to plan like long-term projects, and so seeing them develop those projects and then finally give the final result at the end of the semester, and that transformation was like really gratifying.
I know for me, and I think most coaches, like that's the gratifying part, of seeing change and seeing confidence grow. Right?
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, I've always said your job as a coach is to just build that person. Right. Mm-hmm. What was the worst part about being in Columbia?
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Was there a bad part?
Yeah.
What was it? It wasn't the coffee.
No, coffee was good. I just spent 10 months over caffeinated. I was telling Claire it was just 10 months of over caffeination. Gosh, the worst part. Peanut butter was super expensive. That was depressing.
Oh,
so sad.
Yeah, super hard to find too. You couldn't find like the natural stuff, which is what I live off of.
What was it, like Jiffy or something like that?
Skippy.
Oh,
Skippy.
Yeah, or like a Colombian brand. I tried it once because my friends had it, and I was like, I'm never eating this again. At the beginning, maybe the hardest part was, God, this is tough. I didn't think about this beforehand. I guess kind of just like learning like a new city. That was tough.
Making friends.
Yeah. Fortunately, like I was like, okay, I know there will be CrossFit, which means there will be my friends. Right. And fortunately, that worked out for me.
Yeah, good. You found a good place that had a lot of fun people. And,
yeah. And that was a transformation too. Like when I first got there, it almost felt like my first year of college all over again, because it was a completely new lifestyle, a completely new city, and then trying to find like your friend group and your niche. And so like I started like befriending and working out with certain people, and then I was like, I actually don't really like
this isn't quite it.
Yeah, like don't like this friendship. It's not really working for me. And then had to go through that transformation of like, okay, I really want to control my environment.
Right. Surround yourself with people that are positive and excited to be alive and doing what you're doing.
Exactly. They have kind of like the same goals and that I do. And so then went through that and I was like, okay, now it's significantly better.
How does the CrossFit culture in Colombia differ from, I mean, both the U.S. and here?
Yeah. So similar in the fact that like community is everything. Right. Different in maybe, I notice this a lot, maybe how females approach CrossFit. Fortunately, it's starting to change, but women still don't want a heavy barbell.
Right.
So I got down there and was like one of the strongest with a barbell. Not because I'm the strongest with a barbell, but because here
everybody else was a little afraid of it down
there.
Yeah,
exactly.
Culture just wasn't quite there where it is here at this point.
Yeah, it's maybe for women in CrossFit still a little bit more aesthetic based. Like women that could handle more weight. It's like, you're strong enough to do it. They're like, yeah, I could, but I don't want to, like, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, you mean like this?
Yes.
So let's talk about the aesthetic bit. Yeah. You came back looking a lot different than when you left.
I got biceps.
So what changed lifestyle-wise, nutritionally-wise, while you were there to cause your transformation?
And
enhance your transformation.
And what prompted it?
Yeah.
Right? Like, you had already had a pretty dialed-in, like, CrossFit routine. What was the catalyst to make some of these changes? And if you don't mind, like, share some of, like, where you started and where you're at now, both if you have any of that idea of, I don't know if you did a body comp at all ever, or you just knew
before I left. I mean, I'm aware enough about my body. Yeah.
So share a little bit of that if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, I don't mind at all. So, like I mentioned before, my whole thing about Columbia was like, I just want to be in complete control of my environment, right? Like, I don't want to kind of like be affected or influenced by like outside factors when it comes to like how I eat, how I sleep, how I train, blah, blah, blah. Because I felt like I was kind of always doing that in the past. I don't know, like, oh, like, you're going to work out, like, we'll do this together. Or like, oh, yeah, we'll go eat this way, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. So it was a lot of just Libby wants control of her life.
Got it. And people will either be attracted to that and get on that Libby train, or they won't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you have something against me, okay, bye. But so beforehand, I had always been like relatively good with a barbell because I was
Very good with it. You're strong.
Yeah, it was strong. But I kind of sucked at gymnastics movements. Like, pull-ups didn't come easy to me. Handstand push-ups were, like, I was, like, getting there. I'd always, like, dreamt of the muscle up.
Sure.
And I was like, okay, I want to maintain my strength, but I want to be lighter for the fact that, like, I can do these gymnastics movements and have them be easier, right? And be able to build up strength in that area and not just with a barbell.
So some of your motivation was performance-based.
Yeah.
Mostly, it sounds like.
I would say mostly, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, aesthetics always has a part.
Sure.
But I didn't want that to be my motivating factor. I didn't want to be like, ew, like, I want to lose weight so I can be smaller. It's like, no, I still want to be big and strong, and I want to take up space. But
I still want to be hard to kill.
Exactly. But like I had certain goals that I really wanted to achieve, and I knew that in order to achieve those goals, I needed to like lose weight, specifically like body fat, because I didn't want to lose muscle. So I was like, okay, I'm really gonna dial in my nutrition, and which looked like eating a lot differently than the Colombians eat. I was
Probably.
like sorry, like I'm not gonna like go out and have like arepas and empanadas, which are delicious, with you guys like all the time. It's not something that's sustainable because I have performance goals, and that's more important for me right now. So I actually started like the RP diet, like the RP templates, and started following that like to the T. I was like, if I'm going to do something, I'm doing it 110%.
So can you give me like just like a quick synopsis of like breakfast, then working out, what you'd eat before, what you'd eat after? Just
Yeah. So timed a lot of carbs around my workouts. In order to feel performance in that way.
And what kind of carbs?
Like fruit, oatmeal. Lived off of oatmeal and fruit, and I didn't eat a lot of rice or pasta, to be honest. And unfortunately, sweet potatoes could not find where I was living. But now I'm living off of sweet potatoes, which is nice.
So breakfast would be what?
I'd have like oatmeal with sometimes I'd mix in like protein powder with that.
Got it.
And then maybe fruit if I needed more carbs, because I like measured out, like I was like basically counting macros at that point. And scrambled like egg whites with maybe in like an egg or two as well, and like vegetables. So like try to get in vegetables at every meal as well.
And then you'd go train.
Yep.
For an hour and a half, or what?
I always liked to like lift for an hour, and accessory stuff, and then do like the CrossFit class. So do like the WOD of the day or something. So it turned into like 2 hours.
Sure. Sure.
And then go and have like lunch like immediately afterwards. And that was like a little bit more carbohydrates just to feel, and then same amount of protein and vegetables as well. And
throughout the day?
Yeah, throughout the day, carbohydrates would decrease because I kept them higher just based around my workouts. And so it wasn't necessary, but always like protein. That's one thing I learned, like after like starting to track like what I was eating and like looking into that. I was like, I wasn't eating nearly enough protein to support like the strength training that I was doing, and was supplementing that with more like fats and carbohydrates. So I was like, okay, increase protein. I wanted more like a higher protein diet, be very controlled with the carbohydrates that I'm eating, and then fats aren't that important. I mean, still very important, like don't just like completely cut off fat, but
and Claire, you find that, I'm guessing with some of your people that you're working with as well, that they're not eating nearly enough protein generally,
Yeah. So a lot of the meals that I've heard people tell me about are mainly carbohydrate based, or they're just a refined form of carbohydrate, and it's painful. It's painful, but it's finding that balance of getting the right amount of protein that you need for what you want. Women and men require a little different values, and getting enough vegetables. That's the next thing. And then I kind of fill in what I recommend depending on the person, depending on their goals, with the fats and carbohydrates.
Exactly, yeah.
Accessories.
I feel like I eat an entire farm's worth of vegetables in a week.
Yeah.
Like I should just have a farm at this point.
It's like we were supposed to eat them or something.
Oh, right?
Right.
That's crazy.
Right.
So you did RP. Did you just subscribe to the templates? Did you have support? You're very motivated, and you're someone that was motivated to be self-sufficient and take control. Mm-hmm. But, here we have Claire to help support. If you had Claire in Colombia.
That would have been cool.
Right. Like, how would that have been different?
Plane tickets are cheap enough.
How much did it take in your mind space to make changes like that? Because that's something everybody struggles with, especially with approaching a new type of training.
Yeah, how hard was that transition to go from just being like, I'm taking charge of this?
Because
it's almost like you just made the decision. You're like,
I did. I'm like, I'm doing this.
I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And before, so how much did you weigh when you made that decision?
I was around like 155, 154.
Okay. And how quick did you start to notice like, whoa, things are changing?
Like within a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Cool. And where are you at now?
Like I sit at like 136.
Yeah. And is it pretty easy for you to stay at that?
Yeah. I mean, let's ignore the first week that I was back in the States because I ate everything. Sure. But
and as soon as you were like, what other things did you notice? I mean, I know as soon as you lost that weight, you were reporting bar muscle ups immediately happened.
Yeah.
Ring dips, handstand push-ups were better. What else other than like performance did you like? How'd you feel? Did you feel better?
Yeah.
Did you feel more?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. Less sore.
Yeah, that's definitely like recovery wasn't like an issue as much, which was awesome. So like I could continue to train and like work at a high volume. Right.
The ability to then be able to do that 2 hours a day felt amazing. And you weren't crushed. And
exactly. I didn't get to like the end of the week just like, dear God, I can't move my body. It was like, let's go work out again, or then let's like go like hike a mountain, because I lived in the mountains, which we could actually do. So
how much foam rolling did you do, or did you do?
I like didn't.
Yeah. You don't need it, right?
No.
If you're eating well and you're eating clean and not a bunch of refined.
Yeah, I mean, if anything got junky, I had like a lacrosse ball, but it really wasn't that necessary. I mean, you warm up well, you cool down well, you eat well, you train smart, and you're like good to go. At the beginning of my time in Colombia, I was like I mentioned, like I went through that like friend group transformation. Well, I was working out with people, and their goal was literally just, we're gonna come in, we're gonna lift all the weight, and then we're gonna kill ourselves in a workout and be just trashed at the end, and then we're gonna go and just like stuff our faces with all the food. And I was like,
sounds like typical CrossFit, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
Even kind of us before you left.
Yeah.
Right.
And so like we're. Good thing this is in English, not Spanish, and that they don't know this exists. Sorry. But I just like, I kind of hated it. I hated how I was like feeling just like trashed and just like completely wrecked. And I was like, there's no point in killing yourselves every day and not fueling yourselves properly either. So. And
you mentioned just a few minutes ago when we were talking that you had started getting the word from some of your friends here, and stuff that we were doing. So was this kind of all at that time when you were like, this seems stupid? Was a little bit of back home influence, like hearing what was going on? I'm just wondering.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you started.
It was very convenient, like all of these things were happening at the same time when I was like, okay, these are the changes I want to make with my health and my performance. These are the like changes that I see happening in like with my family, my CrossFit family back home. And like these are the changes I see happening in my training here in my gym in Colombia. And I was like, okay, time to like revamp things. I was so intrigued with the heart rate stuff and the idea of slowing things down, because that just wasn't in my
and then so you had a few things going on, right? Like, so you had cleaned up what you were eating. You were being dialed in, eating enough protein now.
Yeah, protein and veggies.
You backed off a little bit on your intensity.
Yeah.
Right. You'd lost a bunch of weight.
Yeah.
And yet you were still getting stronger.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, it sounds to me like
too good to be true.
Right. She must
liar. It's all in this. You didn't know me beforehand.
Right. So, that's super cool.
Yeah.
Right.
So let's talk about where you're going now. You know, so you're back here for the summer.
Yeah.
Hold on, before we get to that.
I have a few more questions.
Oh, yeah.
Before we move to that, okay, please. What do you think as you've been back now? You've been back kind of working out with us for 3 weeks already?
Yeah, 3 or 4, almost a month.
Yeah, and how were you? So I was pleasantly surprised by your heart rate. I thought you were going to be, you're just such a hard charger, and you've always been competitive and good with what we did before. So I was pleasantly surprised when I saw how aerobic you were, and then I just now realized after talking that you have actually been kind of playing this a little bit prior.
Yeah,
so it's super. That's awesome.
Yeah.
How have you been enjoying like the program that we're doing?
It's been really fun, actually. I didn't think I would enjoy like slowing things down, but really focusing on movement and like good quality movement instead of let me just throw this barbell around as fast as I can. Yeah.
Right.
Quality movement and like breathing and like rest, that's important as well, has been really fun, really interesting. Yeah. And so what I did beforehand was like threw in a couple of like the aerobic workouts into like my week in Colombia, so I felt like a little bit more prepared coming back in.
But now it's pretty much all we've done since you've been back mostly.
Yeah. Give or take maybe like 1 or 2 WODs. Right? Yeah. Which crushed. I'm not gonna lie. But I think understanding the why behind like all of the map training that we're doing,
where it's going,
is what's really helped. Because I don't know, sometimes if like I'll like follow you blindly, where if you tell me to jump off a bridge, like I'll do it. But
excellent. That's why you have your name on the platform.
So knowing the why behind it and how much this kind of training changes your body and changes your system and just how you function, I find really interesting. And so that for me is motivating to continue with this training. And then like I feel great. Like I probably came in more than I should have last week because I was just like,
I feel good.
Yeah, like and this workout looks fun. It looks like something that's going to force me to really focus on this certain movement or to slow down, which I need to do more.
Cool.
That's where I was trying to go with this.
Yeah, sorry.
How are you going to use even just here, you're here in the summer, you went through all these evolutions of training and you kind of adapted your fitness in Colombia. These people, you joined in a group of people that wanted to win the whiteboard for the day. Yeah. How did you adapt? How are you adapting the two of those to still reach your goals? And what are your new goals? You got your muscle up within a week of being back in the gym.
That was crazy.
What now? You look good, you feel good, you're responding well to our training. What's next?
Get better at everything.
Right.
Yeah. Like I have certain numbers I want to hit on lifts. I have certain like gymnastics goals. Okay, I can I've done a muscle up now, but I want to do more. I want to have more
proficiency and make it easier.
Exactly.
Have confidence.
More endurance with the gymnastics movements as well. Yeah, sorry, I couldn't think of the English word there for a second. Story of my life.
And as somebody who's very in control of your own destiny, how are you going to utilize what we're offering to reach those goals? I mean, I think that's a lot of people, like, they trust us. We're going to come in, we're going to do this stuff. I see the good big picture. I see where we're going with this. You're someone with very specific control. How is that going to help you? If you can even articulate this without just being like, I trust that I will get it. But, and it's kind of the why do you trust this? Like,
I guess because I've seen like evidence. I don't know, when you've like seen proof of like a change, then you're like, okay, that I know it must be working, right? It's like same thing with the way you eat. It's like you see the changes in the way you eat, and you're like, okay,
it's all motivating.
I'm going to continue doing this because I see the progress that comes from it. Same thing with like the heart rate training as well. Like my plan is to like get a heart rate monitor that I can take with me to Colombia and like continue to like this kind of training because I've seen the benefits from it. One thing that I did a lot in Colombia was a lot of like accessory work. I think we talked about this briefly for a second, which was really cool about working out in Colombia is like all of like the little tiny things that I had never added into my programming before is what they were like, we have to do this. And I'm like, okay. And saw changes from that as well. So, okay, controlling like that as well. Knowing kind of being aware of like my own holes in I guess my athletic performance means I can cater like to myself and be like, okay, there's this general fitness, like aerobically, that I want to achieve. And then I know that I need a little bit more work in this area, so I'm going to supplement with these accessory things. And then, okay, if my goal is to build strength, like, or to like get higher numbers on these lifts, then I know I need to be doing this sort of strength movement as well. So it's, I guess,
all while fueling it.
Yeah.
Right, for those changes.
Yeah. So my life revolves way too much around what I eat and where I train and how I train. So
how have you changed so I've seen you in CrossFit classes, obviously, and now I've seen your face in the Oli room, lifting and doing accessory stuff. How have you had to change, if at all, how you're eating back here versus when you first started doing RP and the new part of controlling all that? Like, how has that changed since you've been back?
I try to keep it as much the same as possible. Yeah, because it made me feel great and worked great for me. So I'm like, why try to fix something that isn't broken? Right. So yeah, and so I started a lot of Oli because I noticed that was something that was really missing in like the programming in Colombia. It's, like how here in like even a typical CrossFit class, there's like a strength cycle that's part of it. Like today we did like the power clean and push press. We worked on like split jerks and cleans.
Kids calling. Sorry.
Strength cycle.
Yeah. Thanks. Sorry. And snatches and stuff, which I love, which is great. And that wasn't part of the programming. So like killer gymnastics, killer body weight stuff in Colombia, but I was missing more of a heavy barbell.
Right, things you were good at, things you enjoy.
Yeah, right? I don't want her to suck all the time. So got into actually Tree Town's weightlifting programming because it's like, okay, I want something else to supplement and to like fill up like the place in my heart, the hole in my heart that's missing. And really just got into that too. So tried to add that on top of CrossFit. So it's like, okay, good. I'm getting in some barbell, some strength, some Oli, which is challenging enough in itself. And then the CrossFit side of things as well. And then,
Yeah, for sure. So I have a question about your changing your lifestyle while in Colombia.
Yeah.
So for my body comp members, how long did it take to see like the end result? Mm-hmm. So like you had this goal, I assume you went on a cut.
Yeah, okay. I was doing
the RP cut, which is a 3-month program that they send you. So did it tell me a little bit about that? How long did it take to see I'm getting better? And was that super motivating, or was it really tell me a little bit about your experience with that?
Highly motivating.
Mm-hmm.
Results can become addictive.
Yes.
They sure can. And did you ever struggle with that fine line of maybe I'm going a little crazy with this, maybe I need
is it worth it?
Yeah, there was always kind of that back and forth, is it really worth being this drastic in what I'm doing? Because I went in 110%. I was to the point where okay, so let me rewind. So in 3-ish months, maybe a little bit more, because I wanted to extend the time to my last months in Colombia. 3-ish to 4 months was when I saw all of that change, and I guess other people in Colombia noticed as well. I was like, oh, I guess I didn't realize that this was that drastic of a change. And then I get back and you guys all say something. But so yeah, it was the 3 to 4 months in which I saw all of those body composition changes.
Right.
And the results were super motivating, seeing the physical changes and the feeling the changes as well. Being able to accomplish things the muscle up was okay, I have to continue with this because I know it's working in all of these ways. At one point you mentioned having a Claire in Colombia, and so I didn't really tell people my friends what I was doing. They were just,
did you hide your food scale?
Kind of, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so I lived with roommates that were just why are you eating like this? And they're sorry. My favorite moment was I was eating my second lunch because food, and they're like, oh my gosh, you're eating this late? You didn't have lunch today? I was like, no, this is just my second lunch. And they're like, you're eating again? And I'm like, yeah, girl, I have goals. I need to fuel myself.
That's awesome.
Good for you.
Yeah, so I became, the weird person that, like, brought my Tupperware to the gym all the time and would be like, no, I'm sorry, I can't, like, go out with you guys because I want to eat this food. So kind of going it solo was, I think, a little bit hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of the strange thing, right? When somebody's taking charge of their life and being healthy and making changes for the better, like, you're odd.
Yeah, right?
And then people like make fun of you for it. It's like,
am I like
a square
on this? Or is this a PG podcast?
We try to keep it PG.
Okay, I get a lot of crap.
Do we? I don't know, Kate. Do we?
Yeah, but I get a lot of crap from people. And it's like, I should be the one giving you the crap because you're making all of these, like, I mean, I shouldn't judge your lifestyle choices, but like they're just like not smart, like, lifestyle decisions. So I was like, sorry, I don't feel like I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna drink my casein protein shake, which is delicious. I'm gonna go to bed by like 9:30, 10 p.m. and you guys can go out.
Claire, what is your favorite dessert? This is my favorite.
What?
What is your favorite dessert?
I have sleep for dinner sometimes.
I have sleep for dinner.
That is so relatable. Yeah. I got called a grandma a lot. I got called just like really boring. I was like, if boring and grandma lifestyle are giving me these results, sign me up, right?
And I feel good, I'm in.
Right? Your friends call you like 7. Hey, you want to go out for dinner? I'm like, what? I'm in my pajamas.
Right? Yeah.
No.
I can't do that.
I had dinner 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask a little bit about your mindset. So I know RP is difficult because it's very strict. You have to weigh and measure every meal, everything you eat and drink. Like, you just have to be on it.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about, like, the mindset and, like, people were not making fun of you, but, like, kind of judging you, giving you a hard time, which I know makes it hard.
Really
you
hard.
Also want to experience Colombia and go out and see the food, see the culture.
Yeah, because that's such a huge part of it as well.
Yeah. So how did you balance that? Because I know a lot of people here struggle with eating out, balancing with family, cooking for themselves and cooking for their whole family and not ruining their family's lives by doing what I say. But yeah, just give me a little bit of that.
Yeah. So first, maybe personality-wise, is a little easier from the get-go because I'm a control freak. So
really,
shocking.
Yeah, you just decide to do it and you do it.
Yeah,
and people are convinced. So
being able to, like, control everything and really be really precise wasn't the hard part for me, but it was the lack of maybe, like, having somebody to do it with. So
that makes it a lot easier.
Zero support from, like, the Colombian side of things, but then I'm not gonna lie, I started to notice that people would, like, start bringing in Tupperware and food to the gym, and then they started cleaning up everything, and they were like,
trend.
yeah, I was like, shocking. But had a friend
results
speak for themselves.
Can be addictive.
Yeah. But like had a friend from here who's doing the RP like diet as well, so it was nice to at least have somebody to, like, I guess, complain to. I mean, that's part of the process. But, like, go in it as well and, like, share recipes. I'm like, hey, like, I tried this thing and it was, like, really good. Like, you should try it too. Like, okay, I'll cook it. Okay.
So having a buddy somewhat was helpful for you.
Exactly. Oh, for sure. Especially, like, for me, personality-wise. And then, so, like, towards the end, I was, like, probably more strict than at the beginning just because I was like, okay, like, I have, like, 2 weeks, like, left in this, like caught or whatever, so
not messing it up now.
Yeah, exactly. I'm in too deep, but would allow myself, like, once or twice a week to just, like, live
Good.
And so like experience things. Yeah,
you balanced it out well. You were able to still do it all.
Yeah,
while on this.
So
justified with the fact, like, okay, I'm living in this country. I don't need to try every Colombian thing, like, with every meal. Or, like, treat myself at every meal.
You have 10 months to try everything.
Exactly. So I can, like, control the amount of, like, times that I'm experiencing the food and the culture, which was really important. And, like, I got to the point where I was the weird person. Like, I would still go out with people, like, when they would go out to eat at restaurants. But sometimes it'd be like, like, you're eating at 9:30 p.m. I had dinner, like, a couple hours ago. I want to spend time with you. I want to engage with you and your friendship and the culture. But I was hungry a while ago, so I already took care of that.
Yeah. Yeah, so,
I mean,
I just kind of got out of that you can be somewhat obsessed with health, with yourself a little bit, and taking care of yourself, and still, like, enjoy life.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't have to be one or the other.
Exactly. You don't need to like.
It shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Or else you're not going to live
no way
that
to
way
live.
forever.
Right.
So
It's not sustainable, and then you like end up in like these binging cycles of like, oh, I've like restricted myself for so long. I just want to eat all ice cream.
what is your vice? What
What's
if
your-
you
what's
were
your
to
go-to?
binge? If you were gonna fall off the wagon,
Don't make her think this way.
Where are
Oh
you,
no,
where,
I thought that's what.
where are you gonna fall?
I would fall into a pool of Zingerman's Roadhouse sweet potato fries, which I guess isn't that much of a vice. Dude, you guys have no idea how much I miss sweet potatoes. Also, like brownies. Like, give me all the chocolate. And like
yeah.
a warm, like gooey brownie out of the oven, and then you like wait
It's
with
almost
like
time
ice
for
cream.
sugar.
This is turning sensual.
Like some mint chocolate chip ice cream with a nice warm gooey brownie. Like, dude, I'll chow on that all night long. Oh yeah.
All right. You guys have some more for her? Anything else?
We're glad you're back.
Yeah.
Don't
Glad
leave
to
us
be back.
again.
I'm sorry.
I've got a few of just like kind of rapid fire, like quick answers.
Don't think.
Nothing, not too long. No,
Okay.
not that.
Okay.
But what made you want to start CrossFit originally?
Oh yeah. So I had always trying to give like a whole like life story. Always had been like athletic, like participated in dance, grew up playing all the sports my brother played, and then got to college and was like kind of missing more of like kind of competitive aspect. Like I grew up in competitive dance and like working out with people or whatever. And I had a friend who, or like a life mentor, I guess, really like still like a very important figure in my life. I was like, hey, I started this CrossFit thing. It's like super competitive. You would love it. You should try it. I'm like, yeah, I like proving I'm better than other people. So like, I'll give it a shot. And this was in Adrian, my hometown. And so like started to do it there. And I was like, wow, this is really fun. Like super competitive. Also my entire life, I had never touched a barbell because growing up in dance, that's just not what you do.
Right.
And so having that mind shift change and being like, dude, I want to be strong now. This is super fun. Kept me coming back. And then I found Tree Town while I was here at U of M and was like, cool, now I can be a student and work out all the time as well and get super strong and do that. So that was like a huge change from the fitness that I'd grown up doing, which was like just dance and you're in front of a mirror the entire time and everybody's super like, no, you must be small. And I was like, no, I want to be big and strong.
So something I've noticed in the dance world, just because Midge does ballet, and we go and watch ballet, I feel like, and you touched on this with Colombian women.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a culture shift, especially with female dancers, that you're starting to see not so much the small, skinny. You're starting to see muscles. You're starting to see,
which I love,
strength come out in these dancers, and these women are powerful.
Yeah. I think people are realizing in like the dance community and dance world that like you have to like be strong to succeed. There are a lot of like movements that require strength and power, and in order to achieve that strength and power, you have to eat. Like, you can't. Right? It's shocking. So that's been really cool to see, and like as a dance teacher, that was really awesome for me to be able to encourage my students to And so like I came in and not looking like a typical ballerina, and was like, hey, you guys can still be ballerinas and look hella strong, right? So because it's the basis for everything that you need. So I love that transformation is happening in the dance world right now, and to the point where now you see like dancers in the weight room because they're like, I need this to supplement my training.
And you're also a testament to like 136 pounds.
Yeah.
That's not a big person, Libby. And you are still incredibly strong. What's your clean and jerk?
Like 185, but my jerk is 200, so I gotta work on my clean. Yeah, I know, I'm a little imbalanced. I gotta work on that.
And snatch?
140.
Back squat?
Last time I tested, which was forever ago, good thing we're testing soon, was like 250. So
yeah, these are pretty awesome numbers for a 136 pound person. So like it's a testament that you can be strong and not be this, as much as we're trying to change the culture of this.
Yeah.
I don't want to get bulky.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's a fear of people. Like people need to understand you can get strong and not be this big, bulky, muscle-bound person.
Yeah.
Right? And you're just kind of a testament to that, right?
Yeah. And that fear of being bulky, like, you look better with muscles.
Right?
You just do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's what you're going after with your aesthetics, like...
Yeah, and you feel better.
You gotta lift, bro.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, you put on weight in the form of muscle mass. So, like, ignore the fact that, like, there's a number on the scale. I mean, it serves, obviously, for certain purposes, but... Like when you
Scale
look
wise,
good and put on,
come to a body comp,
right?
Yeah.
I'll tell you your
it can only
secrets.
tell you so much. This other frequency thing can tell you more. First plug.
Thank you.
Yep.
Nailed it.
Yeah. I don't know where I was going with that. Yeah, you look better with muscle. Everybody lift weights.
Just real quick, were you raised in a family that trained or exercised?
No, very much involved in sports. My dad played like everything, especially like basketball. He was very involved in basketball and a little bit of baseball. I guess a lot of baseball. No football in my family, but
he's a chiropractor, right?
Yeah.
So being healthy and being,
so like health is important in our family.
You were around that.
My dad also so my parents random tangent, came and visited me in Colombia, and we went and hiked a mountain, and he was like not breathing hard at all. I was like, dude, Dad, you're crushing it. He's like, I'm fitter than I look.
All right, Dad.
But my brother was really, really athletic as well. He did like track and cross country, so he's
So you were
annoyingly fast. Yeah.
Cool. What's your favorite CrossFit movement?
Oh my gosh, I love wall balls.
Yes. What's wrong with you?
I don't a lot.
Why?
What's wrong?
Why? Other than just being sick in the head.
I have serious issues. It's kind of like a whole body thing going on. Yeah. I mean, you're dropping to the bottom of squat. You've got a little bit of weight with you, and then you obviously like are trashing your shoulders the entire time as you're like throwing the wall ball as well. But I don't know. I feel like I can do like a lot of them and really feel a burn, and that's fun too. But I also really like cleans, so it's tough.
Got it.
Yeah.
What's your least favorite?
Oh, the snatch. Yeah.
That's just missing P1.
I think we're on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Once I crush P1, then we'll be having a different story. Right. And I feel like everybody. I actually don't hate burpees as much as I feel like everybody else hates burpees.
No, you always enjoy those.
Yeah, sometimes they're fun.
That kind of gets me. What would a WOD named Libby look like?
Okay, it would have wall balls in it.
Yep.
And handstand push-ups. Really like handstand push-ups. Some heavy power cleans. Not a lot of power cleans, just a small number, but they're super heavy.
Cool.
So you're just and
I think a nice little triplet sounds good.
Yeah,
that's a lot of pushing.
Yeah. All right.
Love to create that WOD.
And what are you most proud of, like in this journey of during your health and your CrossFit? Like, what are you most proud of that you can do now, or what aspect of your are you excited about to share, or to now be able to say I can do? Or
at this current moment, like muscle ups. That was like something I'd been chasing for such a long time, and so it's like, okay, that was the hole that was really missing, and so now I'm really like
that was like your last thing to put into
to check on my list.
You get that figurative and literal high being up on those rings.
Good one.
Yeah. So like now the boxes are checked. It's just like now filling in the box really, really, really well. Like
with a pen.
Yeah, improving all the movements.
All right, and I have one last question.
Yeah.
How do you get through a really tough workout?
Ooh, there's like you go through like the 5 stages of grief.
Right, like in a 5-round workout, after round 2, I'm never going to be able to finish this. After 3, well, maybe. After 4, I'm almost done now.
I set like goals for myself, like in the workout. And it's like I'll go and grab a barbell, and it's like, okay, like you're not gonna put this down. Like it's gonna suck, but you're not gonna put this down. And so I don't put it down.
So lots of small little goals within.
Yeah, and then like I look at the clock, and it's like, okay, give yourself 3 seconds, and then no more, and then you get back up on that bar, and it's like, okay, well I told myself I was gonna do it, now I have to do it, and then I do that as well. And it's a lot of like visualizing like the end as well. It's like, okay, like there's not that much more left, like you'll be fine in an hour, like you'll get through it. So I set like goals and visualize like how good it'll feel once I crush the end of the workout. It's like, okay, I'm not going to make any shortcuts while I'm doing this either, because I want to be able to say, all right, I may have suffered, it may have sucked, but I did it to the best of my ability, and that's like my parameter for marking a good workout and getting through it.
fun.
And I imagine in your life, your self-talk sounds a lot like that too. You know, like long term, being able to positively look at, I really want to go get ice cream tonight, but big picture wise.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That's hard for people to do, that positive self-talk, and,
something that comes easy and natural to you. It's
right.
Yeah. If I look at a workout and it's like all of the things I suck at, I try to not say, oh, crap, like I suck at all of these things, this workout is going to be terrible. It's more of like okay, I'm not good at these things, which is great that they're programmed today because now it forces me to work on my weaknesses. So changing the whole way, like you even start the workout from the get-go. It's like not even just in the middle of the workout, but from the very beginning.
Finding something positive.
And you didn't even come to ladies' night. We talked about positive self-talk, and you just nailed it. You'll have to come to our next one.
Okay.
You find life challenges to be the same way of like opportunities for growth.
That's really why I wanted to do Fulbright in Columbia. I was like, it's going to be hard. I'm going to have to live and work in another language and completely like make new friends and be challenged in the workplace, like try to figure out like a new work culture and everything. And I was like, I want to do this because I want to prove to myself that I can do this. I want the challenge because it's going to make me better.
And how do you think that's so? I have a question in this statement, but for me, like I haven't traveled pretty much outside of English speaking.
Okay.
Right? Because one, I'm just deathly afraid of how am I going to get around and how am I going to, right? So I can imagine like this experience for you is building your confidence to know and understand that you could probably get yourself around the world.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that's going to open up opportunities, like to not be afraid to try new things and things?
Oh, absolutely. I feel like I can do anything now. Like I know like there will be like challenges and difficulties that like come with it, but there was a huge being able to, like I remember one moment where I was in like a sticky situation in Colombia and then like had to like figure out and like navigate my way like around a big city and then like talk to people and like get out of it, and I did it. I was like, whoa, I did it. I made it. I officially grown up. I made it in Colombia. Check, done. Awesome. Here, can do that. And so I don't know, that just gives you like a confidence in being able to approach just normal life challenges in a way as well. Yeah. So I mean, I'd probably struggle in a different country where I don't speak the language, but would not be like afraid of being able to move around and get around or whatever. So. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thanks, Libby. You guys have anything else?
No. Nice to have you back.
Yeah.
Thanks. It's good to be back. I missed you guys.
Thanks for doing this, Libby.
Of course, anytime.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Oh, wow.
The weird barking children partway through.
I walked out and they're like, I was like, no.
Where do I set this?
That is it.
The kids were
They're
definitely active.
It's like, that is the end of that.
Oh, yes. It still tastes so good.